Hey everyone, this is Martin, and I'm going to grab a sip of coffee here. And I'm back at the video editing desk, and the discussion here recently has kind of gone back to the beginning again. You know, how do you start and how do you keep things going? And I knew that that was like the main two questions that I'll probably see those forever. And I got this one question that is, see if I can find it here real quick. There's how do I find affordable land and start my off-grid living? And affordable means different things to different people. What might be affordable to me may not be affordable to you, and vice versa. I mean, what may be affordable to you or someone else may not be affordable at all to me. So I guess the first thing you have to decide is what is affordable for you. And I have been looking at properties. We're starting an off-grid homestead project here. We've already got land under contract, and it's due to close in about 30 days, maybe a little less than that. And so the whole thing will start. And I've toured the video and put a video. I've toured the land and did a video of it and posted it up on our YouTube channel, so you can go look at it if you want to. But in looking for that land, we had to decide, and especially because we're doing this as a kind of a project property or a case study type of a property, how do you build an affordable lifestyle on a property that is income sustainable? Just by using that definition, we had to be, I think, a little bit more selective on the type of property that we would have chosen. If I was not doing this and having to sort of match this to everybody, or to a large percentage of people that online that are trying to achieve this, I may have easily opted for something more expensive and something larger. We looked at one property that I really, really, really liked, that was 200 acres of beautiful, gorgeous land that had streams, live streams on it, springs, caves, hills and hollers and meadows, and it had all of that stuff. It had all of the dream stuff on it, and it would have been good, but it would have also been hard for people to kind of follow along with that journey, because it would have been sort of out of reach for a lot of people. And so as we were looking, we found another property that was smaller, that much more affordable, and more along the size of what I see people shooting for when they're looking at acreage for to start their homestead or their off-grid projects or whatever. And so how do you find those? Is ultimately people like to try to snoop around and find for sale by owner type places, and that's good, but that takes a lot of work. And I'm going to cover that just in a little bit, but a couple of resources that you can use. I mean, you can always go to a local realtor and have them work with you and for you on trying to find some, which is what we did. We've got a couple of realtors here locally that I've used over the years, and one in particular is real good at really working and finding things for me. And they'll also put us on an automatic queue that will send us, we tell them kind of what we're looking for, and they will program that into their computer so that I get an email every time a property like that goes on the market, or every time a property like that is reduced in price or something like that. And a local realtor can do that for you. A little bit of realtor etiquette, though, is that if you contact a realtor, they're going to expect you to work with them all the way through the process. So you can't just go, hitting everybody up. They all have access to the same properties, basically, on their multi-list system. And you don't want to be bothering all of them. And the one that you first contact, they'll expect you to work with them. The other thing that you have to be aware of is that, a lot of them will ask you, are you prepared to purchase something? And if you're not, a lot of times they'll decline. They don't want to waste their time with someone that's really not ready to pull the trigger on something. So those are a couple of things you want to keep in mind. My wife was a realtor for a while, and we understand that the hard way. But going through a local realtor in the area that you're looking to buy is really probably the easiest or best way. They're going to have the best access to the information that you're after. The other thing, my wife likes to use a couple of these other websites that are sort of national websites. You can just plug in the town that you're looking for, and they will, they'll put everything up there supposedly that is available in that area. And one of them is called Zillow. I'm going to go to that one first. And again, I don't know that I really like these, but it's Zillow.com, Zillow.com. And that will do, you can do a real good nationwide search with that. To me, it's a little bit more cumbersome, but my daughter has found properties there. My wife likes to go there and look. And so I just don't particularly like to use that website. One of the other ones that's good for kind of searching nationwide, you just do a specific area or region or town, and it'll bring up the stuff in that town. Is also, let's see, it's called realtor.com, realtor.com. And ironically, the house or the property that we just put under contract is right there. And it's showing pending right now, so that's a good sign, I guess. And the one benefit of this one is they'll also tell you who the broker is on this. So if you do want to contact a broker directly, at least you know who it is, where some of them hide that or obscure that information. So anyway, those are a couple of places to begin to look. And just as I'm looking, actually, that was not our property. That is a different one. Oh, there's ours. Okay. It shows pending too. Okay. As you're looking at this, for example, if you wanted to be our neighbor, here's a 5-acre lot for $40,000. And if you click on that, that would give you more details about it. Here's a 4.18 acre parcel for $44,000. There's one that's on the lake. It's 11 acres for $89, or it's close to the lake, I guess. Okay, here's an acre and a half for $29. That would be possibly a little more difficult to do off-grid stuff on, because there are restrictions on the acreage size for doing septic tanks down here. There's a half acre for 15. Okay. Well, anyway, it's I'm looking at these like, ooh, there's a good one. Anyway, those are some sites that you can go do online, and you can find things. Now, if your budget is $5,000, then you're going to have a little bit more of a difficult time. And I'm going to try something though, because I know of places where there are $5,000 lots. Let me try this. Now they may only just have the houses on here. There's some lots. There's a 4,000, 10,000, 5,000, 3,500. Now most of these are going to be smaller lots, so you're going to be a little bit limited on what you can do. But I mean, there are smaller places available and pretty cheap. We had, just sort of keep your mind open though. We had a few years ago, you can search Facebook Marketplace and actually find some things there. You do have to be a little careful when you go through for sale by owners. A lot of times the owners are not as familiar with the process of buying and selling real estate. If we have bought things privately through private sellers, and we've sold things privately to other people, but I insist that if you're doing that, you do need to have a contract in place. You do need to plan on closing the property through a reputable title company so that they can iron out any kind of problems or find liens or problems on the property ahead of time before you close and take ownership of the thing. Sometimes you can not only buy the property, but you can buy all the problems that go with it. So, a word of caution on that is it's not a bad way to go, but you just have to apply some diligence to that, because I've known dozens of people that have gone out and made this really smoking good deal, only to find that that sometimes the owner didn't actually own the property. They were leasing it from somebody else and trying to work up a lease option to sell it to somebody else at a profit, and never had what it took to get the first part of that done so that they could make it available to you. And that can be very disappointed when you are on a property for a couple of years and then all of a sudden find out that the guy you're buying it from doesn't even actually own it. So those, and we'll probably cover some of that in an upcoming video, because there are some real pitfalls in that that you have to be careful of. We had, just to let you know, is it possible to buy something with no money down? Yes, it is. We have done that numerous times. And we've also bought things with no money down where we got banks to come in and do a construction loan, which helped us do some fix-ups on the property. So there's a lot of ways to do that. We will get into some of those in a different video. I'm going to give you one example, though, of something that was very affordable for someone locally. We had, I think if you find the 2 secrets on financing without any money on one of the videos, it's something like that. I'll put a link to it up here in the upper corner before I'm done. But on one of those deals, we turned around, that I explained in that video, we turned around and resold that to a lady that was wanting to do a 5-acre homestead. And it was successful for us, successful for her. And what we did was we did a lease option with her, and basically it was a property that I did not have time to deal with. And you'll find people like this. Okay, it's not like a isolated thing. You will do this, and I did not have time. We were operating in a couple of resorts at the time, and I did not have time to deal with a vacancy from a tenant in there and doing the fix-ups and things like that needed to be done on that property. And so I put it out on Facebook and said, we're going to offer a really good deal on 5 acres out of the country, and message me. And we had, it's funny because we had a lot of people call and ask questions. They were just like hemming and hawing around a little bit about, what is it and what's the deal and all. And I gave them all that information. But then we had one person that we had known for a while. She called up and asked the details, and right there she says, I'll take it. And what we did with that, because we just did not have time to work on it and spend any time at all with it, I basically said, I'm not even going to charge you a down payment. And I wasn't going to do this for anybody, but she was the one that got it. I said, I'm not going to charge you a down payment. I'm only going to charge you what my monthly costs are per month, which was a small mortgage, a property tax, and insurance. And those 2 were, paid once a year. And I divided all that up to a monthly payment. And I said, my cost on this is exactly $402 a month. And if you're willing to pay that, get in there on it. We'll do a lease option, and which is a lease with an option to purchase. And it was all written in contract form, so it was rock solid. And she did. Her goal was to pay it off or get refinanced through a bank in 2 years. I think it took 8 or 9 years, but we continued to carry it for her. And just recently, she cashed out of that deal. She bought it, and now it's hers. And so there are ways to get a lot of things done with very, very little. But you really have to kind of decide what is your limits of what you're comfortable with. And if it's $400 a month, then you got to find something that's $400 a month when once you've made the commitment to it. If you're talking about in terms of an overall price, if it's $40,000 to purchase, you got to find something that's within that range. If it's $200,000 to purchase, then you got to find something within that range. So affordable means something different to everybody. And so you just have to decide, what does that mean to you? And I would encourage you, if you're serious about looking, go on to some of those websites, the Zillow and the realtor.com, and do some searching around there. One of the biggest things that we do, I'm searching them all the time. I'm trying to find, and every now and then, if you're looking, you will run across that perfect deal that really fits what you're doing. If you're not continually looking, those deals may pass you by and you'll never even know it. So I would encourage you to sit down at least once a week and kind of browse, even if it's only 15 or 20 minutes, browse the real estate listings and see what you can find, and see what you can find that's affordable to you. You can start the whole process of purchasing that afterwards, but to start with, you got to find the right thing. So anyway, I'm going to let this one go. If this information is helpful to you at all, please go to below the video here, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell so that you can be in on these videos as we produce them. And good luck with your search, and we'll see you next time.